The R word continues to come up. How long and how big and how deep, all those things. Well, I'll talk to Mark Zandi, chief economist with Moody's at economy.com. Peter Schiff, president, EuroPacific Capital Inc., who, by the way, well ahead of the pack here in predicting this entire crisis. I guess, are we starting this conversation now? Apparently we are. Peter, so walk us through your view. In other words, we make it now to sort of phase one. We've acknowledged the fact that we have a credit bubble, 40-to-1 leverage, subprime, put it all together. You got yourself a money party that results now in a taxpayer bailout. What is your vision of where we go from here in terms of economic activity?
We're in a lot of trouble, Dylan. You know, the reason the credit is gone is because the savings are gone. We blew our money on reckless consumption. We blew it to fund the dot-com mania.
I get all that. In the interest of time, we've heard it all. I get it, and I'm not discounting it. I'm just curious what you envision as walk me through how you see the next 12 months.
The show asks the question, is your money safe? Unfortunately, the answer is nobody's money is safe right now if it's in U.S. dollars. You know, I'm holding in my hand 100 billion Zimbabwe dollars, and if I spend it quickly, I can buy a pack of chewing gum. This is the monetary policy that the government is pursuing. They're trying to replace all that lost savings with a printing press, and they're going to destroy our economy and destroy our money.
So what should they do instead?
We should let the free market work for a change. You know, what we need in this country is less spending, less borrowing. We need to have a severe recession, unfortunately. That's the price we have to pay for all our extravagance. But banks have to fail. Companies have to go under. We have to reestablish a sounder economy based on savings and production. But the government is interfering with that. You know, they lit this fire, and now they're throwing gasoline on it. You know, as bad as it is, we have to let the free market work. The government is not going to solve this problem, but the government can certainly make it a lot worse, and they're proceeding to do it with every new stimulus plan and every bailout they pass.
Mark, are they making it a lot worse with what they're doing?
No. I mean, I think it's very reasonable what they're doing. I think stepping in to the degree that they have is necessary. I think it won't forestall a very severe recession. I think that's coming. But I think it's necessary to forestall something we haven't seen since the Great Depression.
But have we not learned our lesson? I mean, I think that's basically Peter's point, is that by bailing everyone out, we are not learning our lesson, and we're not letting the recession throw the bad guys out.
We're not bailing anybody out. I don't understand that argument at all. I mean, we've lost $10 trillion in household net worth. We've lost some major financial institutions. Shareholders certainly don't feel like they've been bailed out. And the people who are losing their jobs don't feel like they're getting bailed out.
Peter, I want you to hold on. Mark, the fact of the matter is, in the latest Time magazine poll, 100-to-1, Americans still don't like the bailout. They watched today $250 billion of taxpayer money to come in. They look at the bonuses that were made from people that basically put the entire system at risk. And now Peter's point is, instead of dealing with the reality of the idiocy of past policies, we're now basically turning on the money gun to try to make it go away, which will ultimately result in an inflation problem a couple of years from now. Why do you believe turning the money gun on, which is what we've done here to solve this problem, will not result in inflation 2 or 3 years out in a meaningful way?
Well, you said a lot of things, Dylan, but let me take them one at a time. And first, you know, I don't think that the average American truly understands the link between what's going on in the financial system and what it means for their jobs and their income. Once they get that link, I think they'll
I disagree. I think that they do understand it, but that they're so pissed off by what's happened that they're not willing to they're willing to forfeit their own job, in my opinion, in order to make that. But we could argue about that another night.
And I don't agree.
That's why they have behavioral economics.
Right. I don't agree with that. I don't think they've made the link yet, but they will. And once they understand that, and that's why the support for this legislation changed within a few days, because
the reason why I think it changed was because of the bribes that were put in the bill to get the voters to the necessary votes, so that we give people rum factories and arrowheads in order to get the votes. Last I checked.
And I don't think inflation, going to one of the other points that you made, is an issue. Not for this year. I mean, the economic body is barely breathing. It's not even on its feet, let alone running. I mean, I do think a year from now, maybe 2 years from now, when the economy is back on its feet, then we can start thinking about taking away some of the
economy's not going to be back on its feet. The government's not going to let that happen. You know, you're assuming that the government can solve these problems. They can't. You know, they can't micromanage this economy. It didn't work in the 1930s. You know, the Politburo couldn't micromanage the Russian economy. We need to put our faith in the free market, in capitalism, in market forces. We can't let these cronies in Washington try to set prices, fix prices, decide which companies fail, which companies don't. This is going to be a disaster much bigger than the one they're trying to fight.
Can I just say one thing? I want to say one thing. Yeah, the reason why the 1929 stock market crash turned into a Great Depression was this kind of thinking, that we let it burn, let the market work, and we saw what happened.
No, that's not what we did. That's a myth.
That's exactly what we did.
No, we didn't. We did it. We interfered. We didn't let the market work. You got to reread your history.
All right, gentlemen, we got to leave it there. Thanks to both of you, Mark Zandi and Peter Schiff. Thanks for joining us.